right? But we're not paying full price for it, but it's still a different type of access. I'm used to having mad different sneakers, mad different clothes. Like, this is something that I'm used to, but not everybody grew up like that. So I think that the disconnect is, like, I talk about it like it's normal, and he just be looking at me like, babe, that's not normal. I'm like, yes, the fuck it is. No, it's not normal. So that's where
I think I
would
do the
think
same
is
shit. Tron, go ahead. I mean, the reason why is because I literally used to wear Michael Jackson's t-shirts.
fire.
My aunt is a fucking councilwoman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's not
I have a
normal.
house in Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Like, I act like, yo, I have this, and the other, but I've literally had mad privilege that I didn't even think about back then. But that's really my reality. You know what I mean? For people that ask about Michael Jackson's t-shirt, my uncle, I think he was fucking his stylist or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, they gay, you know, it was a small community back then. And he lived in Hollywood. And he used to be like, oh, yeah, this is Michael Jackson's t-shirt. He gave it to you. And I'd put it on and shit. It'd be, all right, whatever.
Right.
Go ahead, Tron. What you got?
Mine is more like a pet peeve. But we'll be sitting down, watching TV on the couch or something. I'll pick up like a tray of food. I'll have like mad shit in my hands. I'm walking. She'll wait till I get all the way 2 rooms away by the stairs, take like 2 steps down, and then she'll start talking to me about something random. And I could barely hear her. And it's like, I got 2 options. I could either ignore her or now we yelling. And I got like shit in my hand and I'm about to trip down the stairs. So I usually ignore her. You know what I mean? And I act like I didn't hear her. But it's like a pet peeve of mine. Because it's like, why the fuck you gonna wait for me to get all the way over there to say something, to start a whole conversation? Like, you know, I got all this shit on my head. I'm halfway down the steps, and now you want to start talking? And then when you said the thing about Gunna, it made me laugh because she be yelling, but I don't really like yelling. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to be yelling. I'm just right next to you 2 seconds ago. Shit is mad bugged out to me. Like, I don't get it.
I'm so scared for her to hear this episode. I am so...
Nah, that's not a secret, though. Like, it's a pet peeve, so we joke about it, but...
Trav, what else you got? Okay.
Oh, hey, boo. I'm never gonna quit my job.
Wow, good question.
Dian, that's not a.
So what's stopping you?
That's not a goal. That's not a goal for me. Like, my goal is not to be a permanent creative. That's not something that. That's not enough. I am a Cancer, y'all. Like, I need security. I need to know, like, this is fun. And if it becomes lucrative, it'll become lucrative. But I'm the type of nigga that I would rather bust my ass and do both than to give up my career. You're talking about giving up my insurance. I'm giving up my pension. I'm giving up what I know is coming every 15th and 30th. Like, I'm not that type of person. I don't have the type of personality that I can just like, it's on a whim.
What if you had a windfall of money?
Don't give a fuck.
Could be from having tens of millions of dollars. You still gonna go to work?
I would still go to work every day.
Tens of millions?
We've had this conversation before. Y'all called me a liar.
Tens of millions.
Yes, I would still go to work every day because I don't go to work. All right, obviously I need a paycheck. That's like the necessity part of it. But that's not why I go to work. That's not why I do what it is that I do. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. And I can't see myself just because I have tens of millions of dollars. Like, what am I going to do then? Am I just supposed to sit home?
You could start your own school. Like, you don't have to stop being an educator.
I don't have an entrepreneurial type of attitude and demeanor. That's not everybody's goal. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to work for themselves. Like, that's not in my personality.
I will say that I agree with Dodge 90%. I have kids. My daughter is able to live a certain type of life. Mm-hmm. My sons are secure. I am secure. My mom's is taking care. Like, she don't work right now. But nobody has to worry because every Friday I get paid. And I can still hear that going down your throat. Besides the fact is, I actually like my job. You can't tell me nothing about my job. I don't give a fuck whether you don't like garbage men or not. I love being a garbage man. I love the fact that I serve my community. I love what it's done to my consciousness, is the fact that I actually look at myself as a civil servant. I passed one of them baskets on the corner today, and a lot of guys don't get them shits. Somebody had knocked it over, and shit was all over the place. And I was like, yo, stop. Put the truck back here. And I'm like, yo, I clean up my community. I live here. I'm cleaning up my community. He was from somewhere else. He don't live around here. He's a white guy. And I said, yo, back the truck up. I'm going to clean up my community. He looked at me like, but I was proud of myself for doing that. You know what I mean? Now, tens of millions, at some point, your time becomes more valuable. And you have to kind of make a decision as to how you're going to allocate time.
Right.
And if I'm bringing in money from all these other places, that means my responsibilities towards those things become more. Can I do this just because I like it? Would I even do it just because I like it? Probably not. But to Creflo Dina's point, we're not making millions. We're making a couple thousand. We're doing okay, but we aren't making millions. You know what I mean? So if that was the case, then we'd have to revisit this conversation.
For you, Tahoe, I would say that the one thing I think your job limits is your ability to travel. You obviously travel a lot anyway. You got a lot of time off, but like I can see you in a space where you could just really be like not bound to any place and time, and that could do wonders for you as a creative.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know, like you said, until it's tens of millions, you know,
or
it's
two.
a hard argument.
$1 million.
Right.
But no, it would take about $2 million deal for me to do that. And, you know, having this, keeping me here, actually keeps me doing other shit too. Positive, dope shit. So thank you. I understand what you're saying, but I just need to take more advantage of the time I have now. Yeah. That's what I need to be doing.
For me, it's funny, like during the pandemic where everything slowed down, it made me realize like, yo, I want to retire. Right. You know what I mean?
From what?
I know you was going to say that. Like, I don't want. I do things for money just like everybody else. I don't have a 9 to 5, but I got to work to get money, to get paid, you know, whether it's through my businesses or DJ gigs, right? But I also realized, like, I would, if I had the financial ability to do so, I would love to just DJ when I wanted to and not because I had to. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a difference. Like, I don't like setting up speakers and all that shit, but I love it when I'm doing it for my friends, or I'm doing it for something that's enjoyable. You know what I mean? And it don't feel like work. Same thing with like teaching, like, and you know, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm able to turn down gigs and able to turn down opportunities that I don't really want to do. So I'm like halfway there, and I love that mindset. Like, I'm not gonna stop doing shit. I'm not gonna just sit at home watching TV all day. Like, I don't think any of us could ever do that. I don't think that would be satisfying. You know what I mean? But to have that exchange for money, I would look forward to that.
You just want to chill.
Nah, that's not me.
You know what? I can't chill. Like, I'm so like anxious. Like, it's very hard for me to just like not do anything. Like, I'm thinking about my summer right now, and I'm like, fuck.
What does retirement look like for you?
I don't think I would ever retire.
Ever?
When I say ever, I don't, obviously, well, one, I'm not going to be in a classroom much longer. I got about a year or two left and I'm done. But there are so many different other things that I can do in education. There are so many different things that I can do in mentorship. There are so many different things that I can do for children, period. And I don't see myself getting to the point where I don't do any of that at all. So if it's not teaching every day, because I can tell y'all right now, 2 years tops.
You're gonna be in the system somewhere.
Yeah.
Doing something.
Yeah. I'm done with the classroom.
I said you just want to chill. What does retirement look like for you?
That's a good question. I want to chill when I feel like chilling, but I get bored easily, so I'm not gonna just want to chill all the time. I like to, like this past weekend, I went away because I had a DJ gig. I made a vacation out of it. Like, I like to do shit like that. I didn't even make no money because I spent all the money that I made on my trip. You know what I mean? But that was like
you
very
still made money. You just didn't see
right. But I ain't net anything. It cost me to go upstate and do what I had to do. But, you know, I spent the money I made basically. But I could live like that. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by retirement. Just like I don't have to do shit for money. Like I could chill if I want to, but I'm gonna still be busy. But I'm gonna just be busy on creative projects and just satisfying my soul and
making playlists.
Yeah.
This nigga.
This nigga always finds a way to throw a jab in there.
I'm just asking. All right, man. Trav, what do you got?
No, that's funny. Cause the last thing I said about therapy was a few weeks ago, and I said my therapist ghosted me, and she finally emailed me like, "Oh, sorry, pardon the delay," and I haven't responded to her since. I don't know if part of that is just me just being petty, but
no, I think you need stability when it comes to your therapy. You need to be able to depend on them.
Right.
You can't just dip on me.
And now I'm like at a crossroads. Like, do I start from scratch with somebody else? She's not a bad therapist, but that kind of definitely
deflated your shit.
Yeah, it did. It killed the momentum. So yeah, I haven't had a therapy session in a while. I've done it. We had 4 sessions. It was dope. It was super beneficial. I recommend it to everybody. I want to do personal therapy for myself, aside from couples therapy.
That's fucked up.
We have done some other things.
That bitch.
We have, I think I mentioned this like a year or 2 ago, but there's this app called Lasting app. You could have a subscription for like $6 a month or some shit like that, whatever. And it gives you tools, webinars, different things. It's fire. Like it's everything that therapy can do for you for like $6 a month, just minus the personal one-on-one. But it has like a lot of tools for y'all to figure shit out on your own. And then it has webinars where people talk and it's recorded. You could watch it, listen to it at your leisure. So we've done that shit. But I'm going to get back to the therapy though, to answer your question.
Nobody's doing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's why you need somebody to talk to. That's why, I'm not going on there trying to self-help. Like, no.
Therapists usually make you talk to each other. Like, they don't really figure the shit out for you. They just know how to pose the
questions.
The right questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, safe it. All right.
So, all right. I granted,
Thank you. I was not talking.
The app isn't for everybody. When we first went into therapy, we needed we needed a third person there. Once you get to like, all right, now we could communicate, we could flow a little bit, then you can move to the app. The app doesn't replace human beings. I agree with you.
Trav, what else you got? Hey, nigger.
I don't co-parent. Sorry.
Shit. Yes, you do.
No, the fuck I don't. With who?
Gunna.
Oh, with Gunna?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, let me think about that again.
Baby daddy hate just jumped right out.
I don't fucking co-parent with nobody.
Baby daddy hate just jumped right out. Trav, do you want to try this to answer this?
How do you communicate that
things that they're saying or doing is doing more harm than good?
You do it carefully. You choose your words carefully, but at the end of the day, you always put the kid first, and you just word it in a way where it's not about me, it's not about my ego, it's not about my opinion. Think about the child and how this might be affecting the child. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just like offering this as a dialogue because we both have somebody that we care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think Traum is on to something. I think because the reason why is you can't tell your co-parent what to do.
Right.
That is a problem. That's a fucking brick wall you're gonna run into, especially because y'all broke up, and there will always be the fact that y'all that tension because y'all both have this relationship with this child. So adopt maybe as a way to communicate. Maybe we should find a way to do this. Maybe this will work. Maybe it gives them the option to consider it and actually make their own choice when it comes to it, right? Also, talk to that co-parent as a friend and as you're actually trying to help them rather than tell them some shit. Because when you come from I noticed this and I don't know, maybe we could do this instead because I would hate for this. And, it's a very sensitive thing trying to sway the other co-parent to do some shit that you think is harmful because they're going to get defensive. This is my child. How dare you think? Because with me, I'm a man. That means I'm talking to a mother. Yep. That's difficult. That's a difficult thing because I would, it's very often she's told me, both of them have told me that I'm a bad dad in some way, shape, or form. I don't feel comfortable telling them that they're bad moms. I don't care how egregious their behavior is or how toxic or whatever it is. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable telling them this is harmful to your child. So I've learned to coax and to talk with love and sincerity and maybe.
Yeah.
I've used maybe a lot.
That's really fire.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer to that.
Good one.
Yeah, that's fire.
Oh, you came back. Right.
Run back to this question with me in about 6 months.
Okay.
I need, yeah.
But
yeah,
what about if
so
you kind of let him do Parker anyhow?
Not really. Like,
you've never looked at him and said, "Nah, don't do that. I don't like the way this is."
Once. But that's because like him and his family, like I curse a lot. But when it comes to kids, there are certain things that I just don't do and I don't say, and they're just a little bit more free and a little bit more honest. So they'll just be saying it. I'm just like, what the don't say that in front of the baby. And he's like, why not? I'm like, don't say that in front of the, like, the last thing I need is for her to start repeating that, or just like, don't say this around the kids. Like, I smoke. That's not something that a lot of people know, but it helps me with my insomnia. So I literally smoke every night before I go to bed because it puts me to sleep faster. So we were all together yesterday, me, him, and his daughter. And I said, we were talking about something, and somehow, no, we were talking about snacks. And I was asking her, I was like, what is your favorite healthy snack and your favorite unhealthy snack? I said, because I'm only going to allow one in the house because we don't do a lot of snacks and shit. And I was like, yeah, we don't do a lot of snacks, except for, and I looked at him and he was like, oh, your popcorners. I'm like, yeah, except for my skinny pop. And he was like, yeah, so when you're high. And I'm like, no. Don't say hi in front of the kid. Like, she's 12. And I'm just like, And he's just like, nah, but she knows. And I'm like, I get it, but she doesn't know that about me yet. And I don't really want her to know. Like, I don't want it to be that comfortable. You understand? Like, she's a kid. Like, I am very strict about kids and kids.
And Santa Claus is fake.
Yeah, like, I'm very serious about that. Like, I told his daughter and Parker, she's gonna know, like, they're not allowed in our bedroom. They're not allowed in our bathroom either. Like, these two doors is gonna be the closed doors in the house. Y'all niggas can have fun in the rest of this house, but there's a lot of other shit that y'all can get into. Like, I'm just very purposeful about protecting adolescents. So, like, my mom smoked weed. I didn't know what it was until I was older. Like, I just know that she smoked sometimes. But as I got older, I'm like, oh, that's what that was. Like, I just wanted to be like that.
I used to rob all my mom's boyfriends.
Huh?
I would go in their pockets.
Yeah, it's always extreme.
And the nigga had bamboo in his pocket. And I go to my mom like, yo, you fucking dating a drug addict. This nigga's a drug addict. My mother was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I was like, yo, so what are you going to do? Go ahead, Trav. But she didn't do shit. Whatever. What do you got?
All right. So there's a
Of course.
And it's not you?
Imagine that.
All right, let it fly.
Of course it is. Oh, fuck. Come on. No and no. Like, what the like, are y'all niggas okay? You messy bitches. All right, so here's the thing. Gunna listens to this show. He has always listened to the show. I met him because he listened to the show. He knows who my 10-year nigga is. Not by name, not by face, because they will never meet. They will never come in contact with each other. But he knows that this person exists. As per my 10-year nigga, I just don't speak to him anymore. Like, because of the 10-year timeline, we've always gone through like these peaks and valleys. Like, we'll speak to each other, we won't speak to each other. We'll speak to each other, we won't speak to each other. I know I have not told him about Gunna because that would make me have to call him and be like, oh, hey, by the way, I have a boyfriend, but we already don't speak and we haven't spoken in over a year. So it doesn't matter. If he calls, when he calls, because he's going to call one day. And by the time he calls, I'm already going to be living in Jersey. And it's going to be like, yo, what you doing? I'm home. Oh, you did it. I don't live there no more. Where you live? In Jersey with my nigga. And then that's going to be the end of it. So whenever he calls, if I decide to answer, because he called like twice in the last 4 months that I just didn't answer. If I decide to answer, he'll know.
Why you didn't answer again?
I just didn't fucking feel like it.
Why? Because you was with Gunna?
No. He's never called when I was with Gunna. I answer all phone calls when I'm with Gunna. I don't care about that.
Okay, I tried.
No.
I tried it.
I was in my house by myself, minding my business. Like,
Go ahead, Trav. What you got?
y'all some messy bitches, though.
Motherfucker.
He got a delay. That's up to their personal discretion.
Yeah, why is that a thing though? What is if you're not married, giving the kid the dad's name? What is that about? Bacon research. Do we know? Do we know what's the historical meaning behind that? Meat Pocket, you know? Nobody knows? Tiana?
No.
Meat Pocket said what? What are we talking about?
Nigga said, what are we talking
Does
about?
anybody know why the dad gets the last name of the child even if they're not married? Like,
Is it like an ownership thing? It's like, oh, you can't deny this
I think
kid.
it's the line of the family.
Yeah, it's just a bloodline.
Bloodline of the family, right?
That's patriarchal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very patriarchal.
All right, so what else is the way then? Because it comes out the vagina, it's her baby, it's her family. Like, what else is the way?
I have my mom's last name.
I have
You're very
I
alternative.
had
though.
my dad's last name, but I don't have it anymore.
You changed it?
I didn't do it. Yo, my mom's was a wicked nigga, yo. My father to this day, like in his cell phone, my last name is Wilson. And I'm like, Daddy, like one day I was like, where did that come from? And he was like, when you were born, your last name was Wilson. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. I got my birth certificate. And he was like, nah, she changed it. And to this day, my aunts, my uncles, even my grandmother, she was like, I will never know how your mother had the ability to change your last name without your father's consent. But she did that shit. It's a wild boy.
She forged the signature
Maybe.
and got it notarized. Let me see.
Maybe.
Bacon has done the research. Giving the man's last name to the child can be a way of having a sense of two parents, she explains. It's also a way of trusting in the marriage, saying this is someone I can count on. It's about enjoying the good parts of being part of a family, of feeling somehow that this man is making a commitment. So it's a thing whereas because the baby has come out of the mother, you know it's hers.
Right.
But attaching the dad to it gives him some sort of, I don't know if visceral is the right word, some
might
type
be.
of
Connection.
to the dad, like, yeah, this is his. What came out of me is also equally connected to him.
Right.
I believe that in this day and age, you speak with action. The wording means nothing. Ladies, do what the hell you want. I'm a fan of two-name kids.
Hyphenated.
Yeah, I love that.
I hate it.
I love it.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stomp on you like that. That's my fault. I was speaking to myself out loud. I'm so sorry.
It's all right, guys. I'm all right. I'm a little emotional today. I'll
I'm
be
sorry.
back next week or whatever we record again. Do we record next week? We record next week.
Yeah.
Orlando's not here. We're not recording next week. I'm a fan of it. To do what's right for you, what's right for your home. And yo, nothing's that deep anymore. Action is everything. If the dad is there, and y'all communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, I don't think marriage is the determining factor. I think it's you can be in a child's life and y'all not be married, and the dad can get the name. It's a personal choice, obviously, but if if a woman is pregnant and you know that the dad is not going to be around, it was a mistake, or this is just somebody that's not going to be involved, and then you decide to give the child your last name as a mother, then I think that's appropriate. I think that's fine. But in good faith, whether you're married or not, if the dad's going to be around, I believe in what Tahoe just read, like the connection there. Like, why not? I mean, it don't have to be that, because that could be deemed as some patriarchal shit, but whatever. For now, if we're going to accept it, I don't think marriage or not is the determining factor.
You know what it is? And I just want to say this because I hate hyphenated last names because my last name is so long. You ever seen a fucking Scantron when you was a kid and you had your fucking name on it and then it should just cut off because your last name is too long? Like, I was that kid. So to have a 7-letter last name and to hyphenate it with another 7 letters, like, that's a 14-letter last name. You got 3, you got 4. Y'all niggas can hyphenate.
Let me ask you a question. Now, my girl has 2 last names already. Both G's, by the way.
Okay.
And I have a G last name.
Right.
What if she wants to hyphenate if we get married?
And it'd be like,
Can she have 3 last names?
Tanae 3G?
Can she have 3 last names?
She can.
That'd be
possible.
fire. I think that's fire.
Very common in
And her dad is in the
Yes,
her dad
and
is
Hispanic,
passed.
yeah.
Her dad is passed. I would love to still let her have her identity with that, but she'd literally have 3 last names.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fire. I don't think I've ever met anybody with 3 last names before.
I tell y'all this shit right.
She said that in the chat.
Yeah, that's a lot, nigga.
Did she say that in the chat?
She had to. I'm pretty sure he not texting her.
Yo, why you can't hold the line? Like, why we couldn't talk about this? You just gonna as I'm talking, I'm gonna finish the sentence, and you just come in like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, nah. I'll tell y'all right motherfucking now. When I get married, this last name gone. It's out of here. Finito.
Trav, go ahead.
So, over the years, from the last few years, a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, since this podcast is a lot of people talk about this news about Kim Porter, John Witherspoon, Kathy Burke, Cody, Juice WRLD, a lot of these rappers have passed. So the question is, what celebrity death was
It keep cutting off.
timeline, but y'all didn't think was that big of a deal?
That's not nice. I don't like that wording. Like, it's not that I don't think it was that big of a deal, but I can say that maybe it didn't affect me as much as other people. And I could tell you it's a couple rappers. I don't even know who these niggas are, but my kids were distraught. Like, my students, they were sad. Me, not so much. I'm just like, I'm here for you. I'll let you play they song at lunch. Like, I don't know. What
I'm
the
gonna
fuck.
keep it real with y'all. I'm not a death guy. I'm not connected to death very well. So when somebody passes, I believe they're supposed to, or that's just the way it is. And because I understand that I'm disconnected from it. I get it. So you ain't got to shoot my head off. I don't overly mourn people that have passed. So you could almost say that about anybody. And I realized the only thing I didn't like is say Nip. I watched how he passed.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very horrible, right? I thought that was very horrible for somebody of his stature to go in that fashion, that manner, because you see it. And so, but once again, I believe that there are reasons things happen, the universe, whatever it is, and I mourn in the moment, and then I move forward. So, people mourn for years and all of that stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we all said, it's a dark question. It's like, it's hard for me to identify who impacted me the least. I don't want to, I can't even really say. So I could, if I may, I'll flip it and say who impacted me the most was Nipsey. And it wasn't even because I was a big fan of his at the time. I had just started listening to Nipsey right before he passed. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna act like I was the biggest Nipsey fan. But for me, like his death, it's not even last year. It was like what, 2 years ago? Like it's still present, more so than some of the other names that you mentioned, because of everything that we finding out about what Nipsey was and who he was about. Like it was more than just music. You know what I mean? It's like Juice
But
WRLD.
would we have found that out if he didn't pass? Like, I think he's had the
Cali knew. We just didn't know.
He's had the impact worldwide, at least nationwide, that he probably should have had when he was alive. But I'm not sure if anybody really gets the real recognition until they pass. And he's been able to touch so many people with his passing. So with that, I say maybe it was supposed to be what it was.